Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
Yeah, DP lost like, beef. Yeah.
Right. Where he's wondering, he's like, I
had it up, Patty.
He won style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
it's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro.
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate in a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great Bodkins Show. I'm your host, Bodkins, of course. It is our NFL Week 14 reaction show. What a day in the NFL. That Bills-Rams game that just wrapped up might have been game of the year. Real quick, I was kind of agreeing with Tom Brady in that aspect as far as I don't understand the Bills run the ball. You got 3 timeouts. You're down 2 scores. Why are we trying to do a goal line stance with Josh Allen? Throw the football or let's not run it on purpose because they got stopped. Then they had to call timeout instead, where you could have punted it, kicked it deep, you score a touchdown, or even if you kick a field goal, you need 2 scores. So, and then you can kick it deep. You got 3 timeouts to stop the Rams. You got more time on the clock. Instead, they had to burn a timeout. They do get the touchdown, but then they don't get the onside kick. Rams pretty much go 3 and out, but there was 5 seconds left on the punt. Game over. So I don't understand why the Bills didn't try to. I believe that ball went in the end zone. Why not fucking return it? It was just, or maybe punted it out of bounds. I think actually, I don't know. But either way, Rams kind of Bills kind of screwed themselves out of that one. Another game that I thought I was watching too. I was like, man, they kind of screwed themselves was the Jets. It's 3rd down, and there's about I want to say less than a minute left, and they throw it. They have a timeout. They throw it a kind of a back shoulder fade to Devontae. Devontae steps out. If he stays in bounds and they just let the clock wind down, till about 10 seconds, you call timeout and you kick the game time field goal. Instead, he steps out of bounds. Dolphins get 45 with, I think they had 3 timeouts. So they get 45 seconds or so, 50 seconds left, and they're able to march down, score the game tying field goal, and then score a game, score the game winning touchdown in overtime. Hold on one second here, folks. But they're able to score the game tying in overtime, which was led by game tying in regulation, and then the game winner in overtime. That that allowed the Dolphins to have hope in their season. Jets are eliminated, continuing the longest stretch of any team in any the 4 major sports, and not to make the playoffs. I think so. That's how long it's been for the Jets. So obviously they haven't won a division, much less made the playoffs. They have the longest drought of all the teams in all the 4 major sports, which is wild to think. But that's how bad in disarray the Jets are. And, but yeah. Hold on. Actually, I should use the link. Last week should work. Let me send it to him anyway. Johnny's not going to be able to join us. Scott Cobe is going to join us here in just a minute. It was a last minute thing. Johnny had something family emergency come up. Everything's okay for the most part, but he couldn't do it, so was trying to go to the bullpen. Scott got back to me here just real late, so as soon as my computer stops messing around here. There he is. All right. But anyway, I would say more games are lost than won, and I felt like the Jets, Bills fell into that category. Scott, to me, I was with Tom Brady. I didn't understand what they were doing with the Bills going forward on running the ball with a little over a minute, 3 timeouts on that first and goal. Just throw it 3 times. And if Josh runs it in, he runs it in. But I don't understand the possibility of allowing that to happen.
Yeah, in that case, it looks like the team has no urgency to score when you're running the ball and running clock. Every second is valuable in the last, for the whole game, but especially in the last 2 minutes when you're trying to score quick. And I think they still have 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken.
They have 3 timeouts. They had 3 timeouts. First and goal.
Okay. Yeah.
3 timeouts. So, like, if you don't run it, you throw it 3 times. You know what I mean? You got to save your timeouts because the chances of recovering an onside kick are 3%. So, like, of the year, like nobody gets onside kicks anymore. So,
agreed. And if you've got at least 2 timeouts left when you're on defense, you're going to get the ball back. Might be like 20 seconds, 25 seconds left, but in today's NFL, we've seen teams just go right down the field.
And the way that game was going, especially, that game was fun to watch. And I was talking about the Dolphins-Jets game real quick, too. I said Devontae Adams steps out of bounds. They have a timeout left on third. They get stopped on third down, but he steps out of bounds on third down. If he stays in bounds, you got 30, 40 seconds. You could have wound down. So, Jonnu Smith in overtime. I mean, the Titans the Dolphins got a tight end for sure. A lot of fantasy fans, if you were in the on the bubble and you had Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Jonnu Smith, a couple other guys today. Puka Nacua had a hell of a game. They helped you maybe clinch a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean the Vikings game, Sam Darnold, what a performance today. I mean,
yeah,
throwing the ball all over the place, and
yeah. He looked better than Kirk Cousins by far, and we'll get into that game and the others. Let's Puka Nacua went off. He could be an early dog of the week. Let's let me share the screen here. All right, let's get into it. The first game, I thought this game was going to be a little bit closer when we made our picks because of maybe the 2 weeks and the way the Browns had played. But I mean, they just too many turnovers. The Steelers got it going. It was a little slow off the gate. Steelers win 27-14. Jameis 21 of 41, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. No pick sixes today, so maybe God did deliver him from them pick six. But now he just needs the picks to stop. But that's Jameis Winston football. Jerry Jeudy 5 for 64 and a touchdown. David Njoku 7 for 42 and a touchdown. And you get to the Steelers. No Pickens today. He sat out. It was a team decision, not his. Russell Wilson, 15 to 26, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Najee, 16 to 53 and a touchdown. Pat Fairmouth, 3 for 48 and a touchdown. So as he, no Pickens, they kind of spread the ball all over, and the Steelers win a nice game here to kind of pad that division lead. They get the revenge now. They split with the Browns, and pretty much, like I said, they get to 10-3, another 10-win season here for Mike Tomlin and the gang. Yeah,
now I'm impressed with Jameis in the loss because he's spreading the ball around. He's not only throwing to Judy, he's throwing to Moore, he's throwing to Njoku. They're not running the ball well at all, so it all falls on Jameis. That's number one. Number two, the Steelers now go into a tough predicament here. 3 games in 10 days. They got the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs right in a row. So if they could come out with one of those 3 wins, they should be in good shape to win the division and vie for a number
They
2
win
seed.
2 of those games, especially if they sweep the Ravens. If they sweep the Ravens,
they get the division on lock. So
yeah, or even if you beat the the Chiefs, you might have a chance to clinch the number 1 seed. If you sweep all 3 of those teams, though, by God, like Mike Tomlin is coach of the year, and it's time to really start thinking Pittsburgh Super Bowl contenders. I feel like right now teams are leaving. When people talk about Super Bowl contenders, they still talk about the Chiefs, they talk about the Bills, they talk about the Lions and the Eagles. But damn it, Pittsburgh is right there. They're 10-3, and some people mention the Ravens, but Pittsburgh beat them.
I mean, if you have Buffalo, do you really want to go into Pittsburgh in the second round of the playoffs and play the Steelers? I certainly would not. In that.
Well, they would both be. I guess it'd be 2 division foes, right? Or 2 division leaders at that point in time.
Yeah, but as you laid out, if Pittsburgh can sweep these next 3 games, Buffalo's going to go to Detroit next week. It's not going to be easy for them. They could lose that game too. So we'll see. It's still a lot to be determined in the AFC.
Yeah. A lot is the seeding is, especially with the divisions are getting like kind of separated, but as far as the seeding, is not 2 teams that are. Well, I guess maybe the Saints could work themselves back into the playoffs. They've looked a lot better as of late since they got rid of Dennis Allen. But unfortunately, it looks like Derek Carr broke his hand today, his non-throwing hand, but I don't know how much he'll play. But 21 of 31, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Marquez Scantling had 4 for 51. Alvin Kamara had 17 for 44. There's not much to talk about this. The Giants absolutely still stink. 21 of 49, 227 yards, 1 interception by Drew Lock. Malik Neighbors had 5 for 79. The Giants absolutely stink. They're 2-11, and we all know that. There's not really much to say about this game to me, Scott.
The only thing I'll say is Drew Lock was your leading rusher. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Brian Daboll's on his way out, I think. I think he's done.
A couple teams. The Giants, I'm looking at. So a couple teams were eliminated today. The Giants being one of them have been eliminated from the playoffs. The Saints have not, and you know what's crazy? The Saints are 5-8. They're only 2 games back of the Bucks, who took over first place in that issue today. So, nonetheless,
these words I never would think would come out of my mouth. If Derek Carr's not their quarterback, they have no chance of making the playoffs. I never thought I'd say that, but it's true. If Jay Kane is their starting quarterback, we saw him play early in the year. No shot.
Or Spencer Rattler. They have that. I agree with you, Craig. Pittsburgh's a team that nobody wants to face in the playoffs. The way they play in that defense is really good. Their offense, like Russ, is not committing turnovers. Nope. They have sound. He's spreading the ball over, and they have a good 1-2 running back punch with Najee and Warren. So, Alan wants to know Giants picking number 1.
That's a long way from being decided. Did you see the Raiders play today? Aiden O'Connell is gone for maybe the year.
Broke his leg, I think. Yeah,
it
could be. They got to get a quarterback. It could be, Quentin Ewers. Could be Shadur Sanders. It could be, they're gonna have to go get they're gonna have to draft a quarterback for sure. So
they are
and try to team him up with Malik Neighbors. But I mean, even if you have a rookie quarterback, that offensive line is fucking Swiss cheese. So
absolutely, no doubt.
You're just really kind of hurting the next kid's development. But I think the new GM and new head coach will probably be making that choice on what route they're going to go. So it's sad because I really thought Daboll, especially, I really liked how that team was his first year, and it's just been hammered dog shit for the last 2 years. So I do believe. We'll get into it. The Jets were officially eliminated today. The Dolphins keep their playoffs hopes alive. At least as far as the wild card, they're 6-7. They went 32-26. I talked about the Devontae Adams play. I thought that was huge. Aaron Rodgers had his first 300-yard passing game, Scott, in 3 years. 27 of 39, 339 yards, 1 touchdown in the loss. Braylon Allen only 11 carries for 43. Isaiah Davis 10 for 40 and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson 7 for 114. Devontae Adams 9 for 109 and a touchdown. You get to the Dolphins here. Tua 33 of 47, 331 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devon Achane 14 for 24 and a touchdown. I think he got hurt at some point. I'm not too sure if he came back in. Tyreek Hill 10 for 115 and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle 9 for 99. And this Jets defense was supposed to be really good. And it's obviously, we say it every week, it's gone downhill since Pop Saleh left. But the Jets they continue the longest active streak of any of franchise of the 4 major sports of not making the playoffs. So there's that.
Yeah, no sauce today meant Tyreek Hill was going to have a big day, and he did. That's number one.
Yeah.
Jonnu Smith did not catch a pass in regulation and caught all 3 of his balls in overtime. So, Jonnu Smith's the real deal for them. He's been great for them. They still have a heartbeat. Denver goes to Indy next week. If Denver was to lose to Indy, then Miami, if they win, they got a heartbeat back in the AFC playoff race. So kudos to the Dolphins. You thought they were going to lose the game. They came back. They tied it. They went down in overtime, took the ball, and went right down the field and scored.
The Jets haven't won in Miami since I think they said 2015.
Yeah, pretty close to it. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that too. I didn't look into it, but I heard it. The other thing is, these little mistakes make it look like that the Jets have just quit. They've just quit. Devontae Adams going out of bounds. That's a veteran receiver that's going out of bounds. He knows better than that. He just, I don't know what he's thinking on that play, but go down. Don't fight for yards. Just go down and inbounds.
He really just caught the ball. It was a back shoulder fade, and they just stepped right, caught it and just went right out of bounds instead of cutting it.
Yeah, you should know where you are on the field. You should know what's going on. Just go down. If you think you're going to go down, just go down. That's clearly evident now. I don't know.
The last time the Jets made the playoffs was 2010. So it's
Sanchez,
been,
I think, right?
Yeah, 15 years ago now. So
yeah, Rex Ryan will be back next year, hopefully.
Right. That's the last time they made the playoffs with Rex Ryan. So
and I saw a clip on post game. Somebody asked Aaron Rodgers about all the years they haven't been in the playoffs. He's like, "I've only been here for one. I'm only dealing with this one, not the other one." So,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, he's clearly frustrated too. So
yeah, it's probably his last. The Jets have said hey, we got to draft a young quarterback and develop. Again, that'll probably be we already know that they fired their head coach and general manager. So it'll be a new GM, new head coach that kind of decides what to do with it all. And you wonder how much Aaron will be involved in those decisions if he decides to come back and play. So who knows?
Yeah, he's given all the rhetoric. I want to be here next year. If my number one destination is to stay in New York.
Yeah.
You're giving all the rhetoric. How do you really feel? Nobody really knows, to be honest with you. But as you've said before, Nick, Father Time doesn't lose to anybody. And they're not
Father Time's undefeated. And he did have his best game in the Jet uniform today, but albeit in a loss. So man, speaking of 2 teams that are losing, it was the Toilet Bowl in Tennessee. Jacksonville beats Tennessee 10-6 in a absolute wild game. Mac Jones 22 of 31, 220 yards. 2 interceptions. Tank Bigsby got the only touchdown of the game in 18 of 55 and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. had 8 receptions for 86 yards. And then you get to the Titans. Will Levis, 19 of 32, 168 yards. Tony Pollard did have a nice game, 21 of 102. Calvin Ridley, 7 for 59, but the Titans didn't find the end zone. And they lose 10-6. Anything on these 2 crap teams that both their seasons are over?
Anybody do a wellness check on Sam yet? he pouring rain. He said he was in the pouring rain. He said it was terrible. And Sam, for as much as he's a Titans fan, he's been realistic about it all year long. So it's really bad in Tennessee.
This was a game they were supposed to win, though. This was a game they were favored to win. We all picked them on Thursday to cover the +3. And
I don't think Mac Jones has won. Mac Jones has not won a game until today where his team has been underdog by less than 7 points. I think today was the first game.
They were only 3-point dogs. I think they were only 3-point dogs.
Yeah, less than 7 points. He had never won a game before. 7. Okay. Yeah, less than 7 points. Today was his first win. Yeah. And Tennessee just looked like, they're awful. I don't know whether their coach is in over his head or not, but they're awful. They really are. It's a shame.
Yeah, they stink. I mean, you expected a drop off, but man, they're bad. You know, you're losing to a team that's probably going to fire its head coach. With its in a team that's playing with its backup quarterback, and everything else. So, Titans stink. Speaking of a team that's stinking, is going in the wrong direction, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. We said it here last week. We think the Bucs could win this division, and after Atlanta loses today, they fall below 500 at 6-7. There was no Kirk Cousins revenge game. This was the Sam Darnold game. I mean, 21-42. Minnesota continues to roll. That's another team that I kind of say it too. They got a little. They win all these close games. Today wasn't that close, obviously, but they've won a lot of close games. But man, it is time to start looking at Minnesota as a team that could win this, be the number one team and maybe a possible Super Bowl contender. I think everybody looks like, it can't be because they have Sam Darnold. They have Sam Darnold. Yeah, you know who else they have? Who's throwing the ball to? I don't know. Justin fucking Jefferson. He's got the right counterpart in Jordan Addison as well. Look at the numbers today. Sam Darnold, 22 of 28, 347 yards, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, they have a good running back. Aaron Jones is, always underrated. I love him when he was the Packers. It's sad to see him play in Minnesota, but he's still doing things. 13 of 73, 1 touchdown. Jordan Addison, 8 for 103 and 3 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 132 and 2 touchdowns. TJ Hawkinson caught 4 balls as well. You look over here to the Falcons. Kirk Cousins, 23 of 37, 342 picks. Bijan, 22 of 92 and a touchdown. Tyler Algier ran a touchdown. Darnell Mooney he continues his stellar year, 6 for 142. Ray McLeod had 8 for 98, but nonetheless, the Vikings win. And I'm serious, guys. It's time to start thinking about this Vikings team being the number 1 seed. If they go in and beat Detroit, they have the same amount of losses.
Yeah. I mean, if Detroit loses one game here, Minnesota and Detroit are playing for the number 1 seed in the last game of the regular season. I think Minnesota most would lose one more game, which means if they beat Detroit, they would split the season series, and then they would go to a series of tiebreakers. But Detroit's going to have to play this all out for the rest of the year. They don't want to see Minnesota in the second or NFC Championship game. They just don't. I don't think they want to see Green Bay either, to be honest with you. The way they coached that last 3 minutes of that game, they didn't want Jordan Love getting the ball back because they were afraid to go down the field and score a touchdown and win the game. So,
4 straight losses here for the Falcons too. They had this division on lock, Scott. They swept the Bucs. The Bucs were without Mike Evans. They had the perfect opportunity to run away with this division. The Bucs were struggling. They were banged up. They'd swept them, and here they are after 4 straight losses. The Bucs are in first place.
4 games, 0 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The last 4 games for Kirk Cousins. It's no good. It's no good for a playoff team. There's no chance in it. I've said before, if Tampa Bay gets the lead in this division, it's over. It's over. And Tampa's got the lead in the division. I think it's over. Atlanta's going the wrong way right now. And they got to get this turned around quick. Because if they don't, it's really going to be over. So I think Michael Penix will be in as soon as he's ready to go, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at the rest of their games. They do have a decent So they got the Raiders next week, the Giants, then they play the Commanders, and the Panthers are playing everybody tough. So
Yeah.
so it's like, who knows? But you're right. They lost. They lost to the Saints. They lost to the Broncos. They lost to the Chargers, and they lost to the Vikings. Like four straight losses.
You lay right at the feet of Kirk Cousins right now. He is not playing good quarterback.
And you paid him all that money.
Yep. I don't know if it's a fully guaranteed, but you're gonna have to pay out something.
They paid him $100 million worth, so.
Yeah, he'll be the highest paid bench quarterback in the history of the NFL. So I just think it's Michael Penix time. You got to see what you got.
I think I think they got to play Kurt until they're eliminated. If they get eliminated, then you maybe bring in Michael Penix.
Yeah, I think if Tampa gets up by 2 games with like 3 left, I think you're basically saying it's over, and then probably you get Penix ready to play. So
this game was a lot closer than what people expected. I think the spread was 10, and I took the fighting Panthers, I believe. Bryce Young, 19-34, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They lose 22-16, but they continue. This Leggett had a dart thrown to him, which would have possibly won the game, and he dropped it. It wide open, hit him right in stride, and he kind of had to dive for it, but couldn't hold on. He drops a big one there. Adam Thielen, 9 for 102. The crafty veteran continues to have a nice year. Jalen Hurts, 14-21, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed for 1. Saquon Barkley, 20 of 124 yards, broke the Eagles' all-time rushing record for a single season. He's still on pace currently to break Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record as we got 4 games to go here. A.J. Brown, 4 for 43. Devontae Smith, 4 for 37, and in a touchdown. Thoughts on, the Eagles, they played it close, but, they get the job done. And the Panthers are continuing to improve. And I think if I'm a Panthers fan, you got to like what you're continuing to see of the young development and fight of your team.
I think you got a quarterback. I think Bryce Young has shown since his comeback after Dalton got hurt, that he is a quarterback that is going to be good for them. And I think you've seen it. And Adam Thielen comes back, and that's a security blanket. He loves to throw to Adam Thielen, and you got to have one of those guys, and Bryce Young does. So Adam Thielen at 36 or 37 years old is probably a top 25 receiver in the NFL right now, I'd say. And he's 37 years old.
Yeah,
he's coming off a torn hamstring. So kudos to the Panthers. They've played everybody tough here. Dave Canales, he's done a fantastic job with those.
They're turning it around. They're turning around after riding the rocky ship. So, if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm saying, hey, at least there's some improvement. There's some hope. Halfway through the season, they had zero hope. Looked like Bryce Young was an ultimate bust after, giving up all that stuff. But, and kudos to Bryce for after the benching and coming back and learning and developing and things like that. So, kudos to the Panthers.
He never bitched, he never moaned, he never complained when he got benched. He just worked, and now he's back, and the fruits of his labor are showing. So, again, kudos to him. He's been great.
Yeah. Let's get into the next one. We got the Bucks and the Raiders. Bucks win 28-13. They get to 7-6. Like I said, taking over first place in their division. Raiders fall to 2-11. Desmond Ridder comes in the game after Aiden O'Connell breaks his leg. He goes 12 for 18 and 101 yards. Sincere McCormick had 15 of 78. Michael Mayer had 768, and Jacoby Myers had 67. Brock Bowers had 3 for 49, but in those 3 catches broke the tight ends for rookie receptions already. So we got 4 games to go, and he's already broke Sam Laporta's record, who broke like a 20-year-old record last year. But so, they got Brock Bowers, but the Raiders don't have much else. Baker Mayfield, not the greatest game. 18-29, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rashad White, 17 for 90 and a touchdown. Kate Otten had 3 for 70. Mike Evans 4 for 69. Jaleel McMillan got 4 for 59 and the 2 touchdowns. So Bucks to get into first place. Scott, what's your thoughts here?
Aiden O'Connell going down. I mean, I don't know if the Raiders are going to win another game the rest of the year, to be honest with you. Desmond Ritter's not the guy, number one. Number two, I think Tampa took up Brock Bowers out of the game. I think they said that for the Raiders not to win this game, Brock Bowers has to be contained, and he was. And the third thing, should never have played Bucky Irving today. He did not look well at all. And to even have him play and be ready to go was just, bad spot for the coaching staff of the Bucs. I just think Bucky Irving, as you saw in the stats, he didn't do anything today. So he was hurting more than he let on. So,
Bowers is a top 5 receiver in terms of yardage. He's right up there. So for the Bucs, remainder of the games, they got a tough one next week against the Chargers, and then they got a pretty easy schedule. They got the Cowboys, they got the Fighting Panthers that we just talked about, and then they got the Saints, who could be without Derek Carr at the last game of the season to probably clinch this game, to clinch it, to clinch.
Yeah, they have to. The Panthers are going to be a tough game, but I don't know how tough the Cowboys are going to be. We'll find out tomorrow night when they play the Bengals, and I doubt the Saints are going to put up much of a fight if Derek Carr is out. So
in the last game of the year. So
so it's the Chargers and the Panthers. Those are the two key games for them to win.
Yeah. And the Chargers are fighting for everything else too. Like, you know what I mean? So they're it's not a easy game to give up. We'll get into the late slate here. Seahawks, this is, I believe, their 5th win in a row. They continue to kind of pull away in this division. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4th win in a row for the Seahawks. Sorry. But 4 wins in a row, including the series sweep over the Cardinals. Seahawks win 30-18. The Cardinals, it was they scored the first 7, and then after that, they were outscored 30-9. So Gino, 24-30, 233 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Charbonnet, 22 for 134 and 2 touchdowns. Jackson Smith, 5 for 82 and a touchdown as well. So DK had 4 for 49. You get into Kyler Murray, 25 of 38, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. James Conner, 18 for 90. Trey McBride, 7 for 70. Marvin Harrison, only 4 for 49. He continues to be sad on the old fantasy front for me. But this division is still kind of open. The Rams are right there. But I feel like today was a must-win for the Cardinals to have a fighting chance, and it might be over here.
Yeah, I think they've lost the Seahawks twice now, which puts them another game.
Swept.
Yeah, which puts them another game in back of Seattle, besides the 1 or 2 that they're back of them now. Yeah, it's the Rams. The Rams beaten Seattle earlier in the year. They got them again. The win today, as we'll talk about in a few minutes, was huge for the Rams. I think the Rams and the Seahawks are going to kind of run away from the other 2 and kind of hide and battle for the division the rest of the year. The Niners beat us sad. We'll get into the Niners in a little bit. We'll get into the other game, but Seattle is gonna win this division. I think I could see it coming. So they have a really good offensive group.
Yeah, I'm still riding on the Rams, and we'll get into the Rams real quick because it correlates here, and then we'll look at their schedules remaining here. Rams win a wild one, 44-42. This was an offensive person's dream. There's barely any punts, no interceptions. 22 of 37, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns for Josh Allen. He also ran for 3 touchdowns. Khalil Shakur, 5 for 106 and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, 6 for 95. Mac Hollins, 4 for 57. Their problem was their defense was left in Buffalo, and they couldn't stop the Rams. Matthew Stafford, 22 of 30, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 29 of 87, 2 touchdowns. Puka had 5 carries for 16 yards and a touchdown. He also had 12 receptions for 162 and a touchdown. Cooper Cooper 5 for 92 and a touchdown. I mean, when they're all healthy out there, this Rams offense is tough to stop when Stafford's got all the weapons and they're clicking.
So I watched this game today. This was the game I wanted to watch all day, and this is the game I watched. Puka Nacua made 2 or 3 amazing catches on the sideline.
Yeah.
Stafford threw that ball right place, and Puka came down with him. Puka took this game over. He just literally took this game over. The Bills had no answer for him. He's going to be a top 5. I agree with Brady. Brady said he's going to be a top 5 receiver in the NFL for the next 5 to 8 years. He is. Puka's the real deal.
So I want to point out it's no easy sledding here for the Seahawks. They got the Packers on Sunday Night Football next week.
Yeah,
both teams fighting for their playoffs lives there. Then they got the Vikings. Then they have the Bears, and then they got the Rams the last week of the season. Those next 2 weeks are going to be, telltale sign. And you look at the Rams, they got the 49ers on Thursday night. 49ers seem to always have their number.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the Jets, which is a winnable game. The Cardinals, a winnable game. And then they have the Seahawks. That's probably the last game of the year. Rams Seahawks probably decides the division. I feel like
Sunday Night Football game is going to be Rams Seahawks in Week 18. I
think so. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I really do, and I think that's the game that decides the NFC West.
Yeah, if the Rams beat the Niners this Thursday, I think the Rams are in a great position. I know I said Seattle's going to win the division. I'll take that back, more than likely.
They just got they have a tougher road to beat Minnesota and Green Bay. That's two tough teams you're asking to win 2 games in a row against.
You're gonna at worst have to split with Green Bay and Minnesota. If you do, then that Rams game is definitely for the division. If you lose both and the Rams win the next 2 weeks, they beat the Niners and the Jets, then I think the Rams are gonna win this division. So I didn't know Seattle's schedule until you read it off, but that's a gauntlet coming down the stretch.
They got a tough one to go, and the Rams are 1 game behind, 7-6. Seattle's 8-5. So no more buys for any teams after this week too. Thank goodness, because this week was bye week killer. We get into the final game here. The 49ers. We talked about maybe the Bears could rally around the old fired coach in the interim. That didn't work out so well. The 49ers look like the 49ers of old, 38-13. They squash the Bears, get to 6-7. Caleb Williams was 17-23, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, 14-38. DJ Moore, 6 for 49. Roma Dunze did have 4 for 42 and the 2 touchdowns. And then you get to the 49ers. Brock Purdy, 20-25, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Guerrero, who was filling in, 15-78, 2 touchdowns. George Kittle had himself a bounce back game after having no catches in Buffalo. Maybe we should get that guy involved. 6 for 151 yards. Juwan Jennings had 7 for 90 and 2 touchdowns. The 49ers keep their playoff hopes alive here, Scott, but I just don't. It's going to be so hard to overcome from the injuries.
So Isaac Guerrero walked off with the trainers with about 5 minutes left in the game, and nobody knows what's going on with him. So if he's down, they're down to Patrick Taylor and Izzy Abakanda. It's not good. Yeah, Izzy. So, the 49ers are in the world of hurt, and they got a short week. And if anything, like a hamstring or an ankle with Guerrero, Patrick Taylor's a starting running back. I don't give that as much of a chance against the Rams if that's the case. So, the Niners got to win out, and they got to get some help. And that's the way they get in the playoffs. And I don't know if they're going to be able to win out with the way things look right now. So Debo has disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know what's happened to him. He's gone. So that makes it tougher.
You got. Let's go ahead. We'll get into our dogs and turds of the week. Who is your? Let me get to the button here. Oh, banners. There we go. Who is your turd of the week?
Turd or dog? We going turd or dog first? Oh, turd first. Kirk
Turd.
Cousins.
Your
Kirk
turd.
Cousins. You were 2.5 games up 4 weeks ago. You haven't thrown a touchdown in 4 weeks, and you've thrown 11 interceptions. You've basically taken the Falcons from a division champion to a team that will be lucky to win 8 games this year and go 8-9. You can't move in the pocket. The ball does not come out with velocity. I don't know what's going on with Kirk Cousins, but the rumors of Michael Penix are getting loud and proud right now to replace him. So Kirk Cousins better turn it around quickly here. If he doesn't, the Falcons got too much money invested in him, but he's disappeared completely off the quarterback radar. So Kirk Cousins my turn of the week.
Well, we always said like it takes 2 years for you to come back off an injury. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Of Achilles or ACL.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
maybe next year he'll look a little bit better. But that'll he's only getting older too. He's no spring chicken either. So been around a while too. So so my Scott, before I give you my turd here, well this all leads to it. Actually, my turd of the week goes to the Tennessee Titans. Scott, you want to know how bad the Jaguars defense was going into the game? There's 32 teams, and they rank 32 of the 32 teams in total defense. Ranked 29th in points against, 32 against the 32 in total yards, 32 in passing yards, 24th in rushing yards, 28th in sacks, 26th in interceptions. All bad stats. And the Titans could not get into the end zone. They could not find the end zone against the worst team defensively in the league. The Titans are my turd of the week. You couldn't find the end zone when you were playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You couldn't win the game against a team that's coach is going to be fired. They're to their backup quarterback, and you were favored, and you couldn't cover. You absolutely – Tennessee Titans are my NFL Week 14 turd of the week.
Yeah, Sam could have played better quarterback than Will Levis today, to be honest with you. So he was awful. He was awful.
Yeah. Well, it's not just Will Levis. It's the offensive line. It's everything.
Yeah, Ridley fumble late in the game cost him big time. I know you would put in the chat. He's giving back to the Jaguars or whatever. So
yeah.
It was bad. It was bad.
Well, it was third down. It was third down. Another third down. They got to have it towards this is like in the final drive. Third down. They got to have it. He catches the ball short of the first down mark. All he has to do is turn upfield for 2 yards, and he gets the first down. They continue the game. He steps out of bounds, doesn't get it, and guess what? Fourth down. They don't get it. Game over.
I hope he cashed his under ticket that he put a bet on. So before the game. So
who is your dog of the week, Scott?
We talked about it before. Puka Nacua was uncoverable today. I mean, he just 12 for 162 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, and the rushing work he did too. I mean, it's unbelievable how one guy could take over a game against a good defense like the Buffalo Bills. They needed the game. Matt Stafford went to Puka time and time again, and he came up with 3 amazing catches. Even Brady was amazed on the broadcast. So Puka Nacua is my dog of the week.
Yeah, when you're going up against the guy that you're replacing, that you replaced, and you outdo him, you get to be dog of the week, and that's Sam Darnold. 22 of 28, only 6 completions, 347 yards. And like I said, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 touchdowns. Sam Darnold gets to be my NFL Week 14 dog of the week. He outdid Kirk Cousins in his own revenge game. Give it up for Sam Darnold, baby, as he continues to be a stellar performance throughout the year.
Yeah, he's not seeing ghosts anymore. There's no more ghosts in Minnesota. So,
and really, there's a lot of talk. I mean, there's a couple coaches, Mike Tomlin, I said that could be coach. KOC, he could be coach of the year. Yeah. I think most people, including myself, might have had them dead last in the division. Here they are, got a chance to be in they're title contenders. Like, he is legit. They're legit, and he's coached that team up. He could be coach of the year.
So the North has 3 teams that no other NFC team wants to play in the playoffs: the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions. Nobody wants to play them. So I think the semifinals in the NFC might be Packers, Vikings, or Vikings, Lions, whatever it may be, and then Packers will get the other game. So, yeah, I mean, it could be three NFC North teams in the Final Four, and that'd be amazing. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. But Minnesota is a long way to go till we get there. But man, yeah, it'll be interesting. What happens down the stretch? We're on the final stretch of this season. We only got 4 weeks to go, so 1 month left. And no more buys. Next week starts fantasy playoffs, so hopefully y'all made your playoffs. So yeah. So
if CeeDee Lamb doesn't score 40 points tomorrow night, I win $4,000. So in my high so
well, there you go. There you go.
Please take the night off. Would you please see the? I need you to. So, yeah.
Ooh, that was a hell of a punt. I enjoyed the Chiefs-Chargers game tonight. Other than that, we'll catch y'all next week at the same time, 8 o'clock Central, or 8 Eastern, 7 Central for NFL Week 15. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.